أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله. أما بعد. We thank the Almighty Allah for giving us another opportunity. We thank Him for His mercies that He's bestowed upon us. We bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except the Almighty Allah. We also bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and His messenger. Whosoever the Almighty Allah guides is really guided, and anybody who goes astray has nobody to blame but themselves. I believe today is the 13th day of Sha'ban, 1444 years after the hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It also corresponds with the 5th day of March 2023. Normally on Sundays we have Sierra class, but the last couple of days have been very packed, so I've not really sat down to do enough research on the next episode that we're going to have. And you know, in Islam you don't speak out of your own will. You need to really substantiate what you're going to see. So we spoke about, you know, the Kuffar's opposition to the da'wah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the kind of machinations that they used, you know, in terms of trying to discourage people from listening to the da'wah. When that failed, they went to the next level, which is persecuting the followers of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, you know the story vaguely, like, you know, Bilal, Ammar bin Yasir, and his mother, and his father, and the other Sahaba. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was faced with a lot of challenges, where sometimes when he's praying in the, you know, in the courtyard of the Kaaba, they come and then, you know, they harass him, they molest him. But it is not something that I've really sat down to, you know, substantiate some of the narrations. And that's why today you don't see me with my iPad. But not to just leave the class open, we're going to speak about, you know, just preparation for Ramadan. You know very well that if you have a car, from time to time you need to send the car to the mechanic for, you know, general, you know, repairs, or even to change your oil, to check your brake pads and stuff like that. And that helps the car to function better and better, because you're taking care of the car. It's with the same, you know, idea that the Almighty Allah gave us the month of Ramadan. That the whole year, for 11 months, you are free to do whatever you want to do. If I say you are free, let me clarify that. It's not that you're free to do whatever you want to do in an open-ended statement, but you can, there is a specific lifestyle that Ramadan brings with. There's a specific discipline that Ramadan comes with. There's a specific, you know, learning, you know, strategy that Ramadan comes with. So the Almighty Allah gives us the month of Ramadan as a spiritual workshop, where we enter into that workshop to change the engine oil of our Iman, to check the brake pad of our committing sins, to check the accelerator of our doing good. So before you go to the workshop, you identify the problems that you have, that you need the mechanic to solve for you. So as we are approaching Ramadan, each and every one of us should, you know, identify what challenges we are facing with our Iman. It's very important. And understand that Ramadan is a gift from the Almighty Allah. And not everybody gets that, you know, gift from the Almighty Allah. Who knows? I'm here speaking, and then the next day you would do my janazah and go and bury me, and then you will witness Ramadan. It's not surprising. No? I mean, it's not surprising, because over the years you hear there are a lot of people that last year I buried an auntie on the first day of Ramadan. Last year, on the first day of Ramadan, we were fasting, went to the cemetery to bury her. So you see a lot of dua that the Almighty Allah gives us the opportunity to witness the month, because it is a very, very great and important month for us. Because one night that we all know of Laylatul Qadr, when we are able to worship the Almighty Allah in that night, and then we are successful, it is better than 1,000 months. And 1,000 months, when you calculate, that's about 83 years and some 3 months. So imagine this opportunity of amassing, good and blessing and reward in one night, which is equivalent to 83 years. Sometimes when I sit down, to go through, when I read, some of these, statements from the Quran, from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes I'm tempted to say that the Almighty Allah doesn't want us to go to Jahannam. The Almighty Allah doesn't want us to go to hell. If you do a good deed, you have an angel here who writes the good deed. If you do one good deed, it is multiplied 10 times. Multiplied 700 times. If you do a bad deed, it's only 1 that is written. So how come -1, -1, -1 will come and surpass +10, +10, +10? And apart from that, when you do that wrong deed, and then you seek forgiveness, the Almighty Allah, whatever istighfar you do, you get 10. And then the Almighty Allah uses that 10 to trump that -1. And then you get extra 9. So as a Muslim, if you find yourself on the day of Qiyamah in hot waters, you caused it. Because the Almighty Allah has given us all these opportunities. Laylatul Qadr, 83 years. So if you have 10 Laylatul Qadrs, it's about 830 years of reward from the Almighty Allah. Apart from that, apart from even the month of Ramadan, the Almighty Allah has given us weekly opportunities to get closer to Him, fasting Mondays and Thursdays. The Prophet Muhammad was asked, he said, on Thursdays, our good deeds are lifted up to the Almighty Allah. And then He wants His good deeds to be what? To have fasting with it to go up. So, in taking your good deed of the week to the Almighty Allah for filing, fasting is there. Apart from that, the Almighty Allah gave us the day of Friday, Yawm al-Jum'ah. And that Yawm al-Jum'ah, the Prophet Muhammad said there is a time, there is an hour on Friday that if you ask the Almighty Allah, He's going to grant you. Some scholars say the moment the Imam is on the minbar, some say it's after Asr, but the predominant opinion is that it's after Asr to Maghrib. So the Almighty Allah has given us all these avenues to get closer to Him. One beautiful thing is, after Ramadan, the Prophet Muhammad said, whoever fasts the month of Ramadan, and then after the month of Ramadan, he follows it with 6 days fasting in the month of Shawwal, it is as if he's given the reward of a whole year. Imam Shafi'i says, the Almighty Allah, whatever you do, He's going to give you 10 plus 10, right? So if you fast 30 days in the month of Ramadan, 30 times 10 is how many? 300. You fast 6 days in Shawwal, 6 times 10 is what? 60. 300 plus 60, 360 days in a year. So as this month is approaching, it's very, very important we psych ourselves. Let's have a deliberate, conscious, mental mindset that this Ramadan I'm going to be counted amongst the servants of the Almighty Allah. When we go to the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 183, when Almighty Allah was speaking about the month of Ramadan, when He said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. I want us to do an exercise here. Just be with me on this one. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. The key word here is iman. So that's the first word. Kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. The key word here is what? As-siyam. La'allakum tattaqun. The key word here is at-taqwa. So we have iman, we have siyam, we have taqwa. These are the three key words in the verse. The scholars of tafsir are asking, why did Almighty Allah put as-siyam between iman and taqwa? In this verse, why did Almighty Allah put siyam between iman and taqwa? And then he said, iman tasdiqun qalbiyyun bima ja'a bihi nabiyur rahmah. Kullu ma waqara fil qalbi wa saddaqahu al-qawl wal a'mal. Iman is what is emphasized in the heart, or what is embedded in the heart, and then there is a manifestation of it in your body. So for Islam, for a Muslim, our iman is not only theoretical, it's also practical. Whatever you believe in here should manifest here. So you can't say I'm a Muslim or I'm a mu'min but I don't offer salah. No, that's not how Islam is practiced. I'm a Muslim but I don't do good. No, that's not Islam practice. That's not how Islam is. Islam is both a theoretical and then a practical religion. You learn, you practice. You learn, you practice. That is why in the Quran you see Almighty Allah say, "Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat." Those who believe and then they what? They do good. So al-iman is also qawlun wa amal. Statement and what? And practice. So that's why I always say this. It's very, very puzzling for me that when someone says, I'm a Muslim but I'm not practicing, it doesn't add up to me. It's like you're saying, I'm a citizen but I'm not law-abiding. That's technically what you're saying. Because Islam is practice. Practice. When you say La ilaha illallah, aliman bima'naha wa amilan bimuqtadaha zahiran wa batina. La ilaha illallah is aliman bima'naha. You should know the meaning of La ilaha illallah. Wa amilan bimuqtadaha. You work with what La ilaha illallah is comprised of. Zahiran wa batina, whether publicly or privately. So, al-iman sirrun bayna al-abd wa rabb. Iman is a secret between the servant and his Lord. Iman is not written on our faces. It's not. I will not be able to say your iman is higher than his iman. I can't say that. But then there are signs that manifest out and say, no, this guy or this brother, there is signs of iman in him. But you cannot say for sure that he's a believer. Because there are people who are hypocrites. And we have a whole surah in the Quran. إِذَا جَاءَكَ الْمُنَافِقُونَ قَالُوا نَشْهَدُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُ وَاللَّهُ يَشْهَدُ إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَكَاذِبُونَ. They come and say, Ya Rasulullah, we are with you. You are the messenger of the Almighty Allah. We are with you, we believe you. And Almighty Allah said, Wallahu ya'lamu innaka la rasulu. I, Allah, I know you are my messenger. I don't need them to say that. Wallahu ya'lamu innal munafiqina lakadibun. And Almighty Allah knows that these people are liars. So Islam is about steadfast. Islam is about having one clear face. You know the animal, the bat. That animal, bat. The bat died. And then the birds came to perform his janazah. But when they came, they saw that this bat has wings like them, but then he has the head of a cat. They said, no, this guy doesn't belong to us. Let's leave him. His family members will come and pick him. Then the cats came and they saw him. This animal has a head like ours, but he has a wing. We don't have wings. Let's leave him. His people will come and pick him. And he stayed there until he got rotten. The moral of the story is, Don't behave like the bats. Be a mu'min in and out. Be a true believer. When that is embedded in your heart, the Almighty Allah will bring the community towards you. And in Islam, you don't live as an island. It is a communal religion, it's a communal system. It's a community-based enterprise. Even for you to meet your brother and then you smile in his face, it's sadaqah. But then, iman, the essence of iman is only known by the Almighty Allah. The essence of iman is only known by the Almighty Allah. So there is the essence of iman in the heart, and then there are manifestations of iman in our outer bodies. But then really, who is a Muslim, only the Almighty Allah knows. You know very well that the hypocrites will come into the masjid, come and join the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and say we believe, but then you're not believers. You know very well throughout history, non-Muslims will pretend as if they are Muslims. They'll go to Muslim lands, they want to go and spy, they want to go and do this, do that, write books about Muslims and come and stuff like that. And later on they come out publicly and say we were not Muslims, we just went there to what? To just see what is going on. So Iman is what the Almighty Allah knows. So it is what? It's a secret between you and the Almighty Allah. At-taqwa, Imam Ali radiallahu anhu is reported to have defined at-taqwa with 4 things. First one is khawfun min al-jalil, wa amalu bi-tanzil, wa rida bil-qalil, wa al-isti'dad li-yawm al-rahim. The first one is khawfun min al-jalil, being conscious of the Almighty Allah. A sheikh had a couple of students that he was teaching, and most of them were elderly men, and then there is one small young boy amongst them. And anytime they come to class, when the young boy enters, the sheikh stands up to welcome the young boy. But when the old men come in, the sheikh doesn't stand up to welcome them. So the old men were furious, they were angry. So one day, they made a delegation and said, Sheikh, we are very sorry, but there's something that is going on in class that we need you to address. He said, why? He said, why? What is going on? And then they said, Sheikh, we've realized that anytime we old men come to class, you don't stand up to welcome us. But this small boy, when he comes, you stand up to welcome him. It's as if you are teaching him to disrespect us. And then the Sheikh said, no, that's not the intention. But as time goes on, I'll explain to you why I do that. It's okay, no problem. After some time, the Sheikh said, I have an assignment for you guys. Each and every one of you should go and get chicken, a live one, and then slaughter the chicken where nobody is going to see you. Slaughter the chicken where nobody is going to see you. So that's simple. And then the next day, you come with what? The dead chicken. He went, and the next day everybody came. And then this old man would say, yes, I put the chicken in my dress, and then I put the knife in there, and then I killed it. Nobody saw me. And this one would say, I went under my bed. This one would say, I went into the bush. This one would say, I did this. And then the young man came with a live chicken, not killed. And then the sheikh said, I told you to kill the bird or the chicken, to slaughter the chicken where nobody is going to see you. Why haven't you done that? He said, Sheikh, wherever I go, the Almighty Allah sees me. He said, nobody, I should slaughter it where nobody can see me. But I went into the bush, the Almighty Allah sees me. I went under my bed, the Almighty Allah sees me. So I can't do it. And the Sheikh told the other student, you realize why I respect him? Because he has this God consciousness. Be conscious about Allah all the time. It's very, very, very important. We commit sins, whether we like it or not. But I always say this, make sure your baggage of sins doesn't go over with. You know very well if you are traveling and then you have an oversized bag, you're going to pay extra. They give you 50 pounds. Don't go beyond 50 pounds. If you go beyond 50 pounds, you pay $200. Anytime I'm traveling and then, I go to weigh my bag and it's beyond 50 pounds and I'm trying to negotiate with them, and it's 51 pounds or 52 pounds. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. Afterwards, I just think, so what is going to happen on the day of Qiyamah? You come with an oversized bag. So whether we like it or not, we're going to sin. But then I always say this, try as much as possible to limit our sins to what? The smaller ones. Don't come to the Qiyamah with big sins. Don't come to the Qiyamah with alcohol. Don't come to the Qiyamah with gambling. Don't come to the Qiyamah with fornication and zina. Don't come to the Qiyamah with backbiting. Don't come to Qiyamah with frauding and scamming people. Don't come to the Qiyamah with that. If you come to Qiyamah with minor sins, that is when Ghafur Rahim is going to work. But then if you come with an oversized bag, so it is reported that the Prophet Muhammad told Abu Dharr, جدد السفينة فإن البحر عميق. Repair your boat. Repair it. Because the river or the sea we are going to cross is very, very deep and shallow. If your boat is not strong, water enters in, you're going to die. He said, جدد السفينة فإن البحر عميق. وخفف الحمل فإن العقبات قعود. Make sure that your bag is lightweight, because the mountain we are going to climb is very steep. If you have a heavy load behind you, you can't climb it. وَأَخْلِصِ الْعَمَلِ فَإِنَّ الرَّاقِبَ بَصِيرٌ. And then be sincere in your deeds, because the supervisor is Allah, sees us. So at-taqwa, God consciousness, piety, the first thing is be aware of the Almighty Allah at every time. Be aware. It is reported, the hadith of the 3 people who were trapped in the cave, and then they came and then they were supplicating. The last person, what did he say? He said, Ya Allah, there is a woman of my neighborhood, of our community, who is the most beautiful of all the women. I wanted her for myself in haram. She didn't agree. One day, the struggles of the dunya brought something. If you don't allow me to, where she came back to him and then do whatever you want to do. And then she told him, Ya Abdullah, O the servant of the Almighty Allah, fear Allah and do not put on a ring that doesn't belong to you. And then he said, when I heard her say that, I was scared. And I gave her whatever she wanted without doing that with her. Ya Allah, if I did this really because of you, Ya Allah, give us a way to go. And then the Almighty Allah lifted, the boulder that had, closed the entrance of the cave for them to leave. So being God conscious is very, very important. And this is going to help us in the month of Ramadan. Because you know very well that in the month of Ramadan, you can enter the washroom with a kettle full of water, you go and drink your thing and then come out and then come and perform ablution, and nobody will know. Nobody will know. You can go to your Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and then you just do your thing and nobody knows. But because you know you are a servant of the Almighty Allah, and the Almighty Allah sees you, you have that God consciousness with you. So that is what is going to prepare you to say, no, I have a covenant with Almighty Allah. Let me stay for me. Working with the revelation. How well is the Quran represented? Is the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, represented in our lives? Not only in our lives as fathers or as men or as husbands, in our families. Understand this. The Almighty Allah made you the leader of the house. Because it's a responsibility. If you shirk that responsibility, the Almighty Allah is going to question you. Are under your care. Your wife can be richer than you, but you are the man of the house. You can even be living in her house. Almighty Allah gave of nurturing and protection and provision. The fact that your wife earns more she is obliged to pay the bills. And understand one thing as a man, the moment you shirk your responsibility, if the woman is also paying the bills of the, when can you say, sit down and she'll tell you? That is how the Almighty Allah has designed us. So as a father and as a husband in the house, how well is the Quran manifested in your house? How well is the Quran and the Sunnah in your life of your daughters, in the life of your sons? How well is it? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O you who believe, protect yourselves and your families from entering the hellfire. That's what the Almighty Allah said. Protect yourselves and your families. You drag them. You know, the train. It's only the head or the engine that is called what? The train. But the rest are called what? Cars or carriages. They're not called a train. So you are the train in the family, and they are the what? The cars or the carriages. Once that will generate that respect and love for you in the house. It's not about stamping your authority. I'm the man. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that at all in the house. You don't need to raise your voice or scream or shout. Put in the mechanisms in the house, and the woman will lovingly and willingly follow. The elder ones amongst us here, you know very well that after some level or time in marriage, the wife begins to call you what? Daddy. Because you are representing or representative of what? Of a murabbi, a father in the house. As just a case study for, working with what? With the revelation of the Almighty. So the month of the Quran is coming. Let's read more of the Quran. Let's study more of the Quran. Let's learn more of the Quran. Let's emphasize it in our lives. The third one is Rida bil Qalil. Be content with the small that you have. All of us here in the Masjid don't earn the same. We don't live in the same homes. Some are living in one-bedroom apartments. Some are living in their own homes. Some are even perching with some people. But whatever the Almighty Allah has given, don't for once look at what other people have in the dunya. وَلَا تَمُدَّنَّ عَيْنَيْكَ إِلَى مَا مَتَّعْنَا بِهِ أَزْوَاجًا مِّنْهُمْ زَهْرَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا لِنَفْتِنَهُمْ فِيهِ وَرِزْقُ رَبِّكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Try to peep at what other people have been given by the Almighty Allah. The Almighty Allah said, it is Zahratul Hayatul Dunya. It is a glittering of the life of this dunya. لِنَفْتِنَهُمْ فِيهِ. It is also a test for them. وَرِزْقُ رَبِّكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. But then, and then it's enduring. You know all these rich people, all these big rich people, they have about 10 bodyguards, 15 bodyguards. Even if they are going to the toilet, someone is standing there. Isn't it a trial? This is a difficulty. If they are traveling or they are walking and then a balloon just bursts, pop, they'll start hiding. They'll think it is a gunshot. But you and me like this, that we don't have anything. Who is even going to think of shooting us? Or what? What do we have? We don't need bodyguards. So when you look at what other people have, I'm not saying what they have is haram or no, getting those bodyguards to protect them is haram. No, that's not what we're saying. All I'm saying is that even having those bodyguards itself is a tiring thing. The former president of Ghana, when he was a vice president, he was being interviewed. And then he said he had a visitor. A private visitor came to his home. He spent some time, and then the visitor was leaving. So they were going to the airport. So he, as a vice president, took the car keys to drive his visitor to the airport. And then the driver and then the bodyguards came in and like, that is our job. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to drive you. We're supposed to protect you. He said, it's a private visit. And I'm not far away from the airport. my friend. And they said, no, you can't do that. You have وَرْضَ بِمَا قَسَمَ اللَّهُ لَكَ تَكُنْ أَغْنَى النَّاسِ. Be content with what the Almighty Allah has given you. Your share will be the wealthiest of people. But that car is kind of car. You are in your old rickety, you're in 1990, dies on the way, and then you need to go and get the battery to content what you have. Your one dress is okay. The Almighty Allah has given you. He didn't give it to me. Our 5 fingers are not equal. To tie something and the thumb is not in, you cannot tie it. Each and every one of us is blessed in a way. But the problem is that we are looking at other people's blessings, so we don't see what the Almighty Allah has given us. And that's what makes us envy occasions. Your heart beats faster. You go out there, you see me, your heart beats. One day the heart will beat, pump, and that's it, you're gone. With all my jealousy, you can ask. And then the last thing is, وَاسْتِعْدَادُ لِيَوْمِ الرَّحِيمِ. Prepare. There is a journey in front of you. Going to the Akhirah is not a choice. Or if you want to say you won't go. If you want to say you want to go to the Akhirah, just say, I'm not going. But the problem, in the verse of the Quran, or Allah said, ثُمَّ إِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. And then you don't know how, you don't know the dressing, you don't know anything about it. So it's important we prepare. And the preparation is having that God consciousness. So to answer the question, Allah put fasting between Iman and Taqwa. At-Taqwa, the Prophet Muhammad said, At-Taqwa hahuna 3 times. At-Taqwa shows our him. So Iman is a secret between the Almighty Allah. Also a secret between you and the Almighty Allah. And then Siyam is also a secret between you and the Almighty Allah. Fasting. You can be in your house and have a heavy, and then come out walking gradually. Today has been tough. Ramadan today has been tough. But you just ate. But ana ajzi will be. Fasting is mine, and I'm the only one. For your fasting to be, your iman and your taqwa should be resolute and should be very, very, very strong. So in preparing ourselves for the month of Ramadan, let's start exercising. And what's the exercise? Let's start prolonging our night prayers. Let's start prolonging our recital of the Quran. Let's start prolonging on your phone. Get Sheikh Abdul Rahman today. Get Sheikh. Both a physical and a spiritual. Allah. Don't go and listen. Especially we live in times whereby we have all these gadgets. Get ready. We have a visitor who is coming in the month of Ramadan. Let's prepare. And then the ultimate goal of 80 days in the last 10 days of Ramadan. And Almighty Allah 400, finish hard. You're tired, you're exhausted, the energy is gone, but then that ultimate goal of that you're looking at on the horizon. May Almighty Allah safeguard us, may He protect us and guide us. We'll pause here, and if brothers have some questions, we'll entertain those questions. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Now,
what about the one what about a person who spend all day do zikr?
Yes.
Listen to the Quran or recite
Zikr all day, but then there's no zikr like the Quran. There's no zikr like the Quran. Even the Quran itself is called al-dhikr. Inna nahnu nazzalna al-dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. I, the Almighty Allah, revealed the dhikr here, which is the Quran. Wa inna lahu lahafidhun. So it's not them up. Sometimes you read the Quran, sometimes you listen to the Quran, sometimes Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, your astaghfirullah. Just make matter has increased exponentially, because it's just a once, in a year thing, and then the rewards are immense. I hope I've answered the question. Is that now?
Yes, Chef. The other time, a friend of mine, I want to at least do my hygiene, take the toothbrush, because sometimes it stays long, you don't. When I take it, I said, no, you don't have to do that.
No.
You do that, you already, your fast is already cut. I said, why? I'm just, no water going in. He said, no. So, what is the case of that? Because some area they will say it doesn't have anything to spoil your Ramadan, because nothing went into your stomach.
Month of Ramadan. Yes, the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad said, "La khalufa fami as-sa'im atyab inda Allahi min rih al-misk." The transformation in the mouth of the fasting person, that scent is more beloved to the Almighty Allah than misk, than beautiful fragrance. But that doesn't mean that leave your mouth like that. You come to the Masjid, and people are like this. No. No. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, part of his sunnah is what? Having a toothbrush. And then he said, "Lawla an ashukka ala ummati la." If not for it, it's going to be, a difficulty for my ummah. I will have ordered them to brush their teeth for every salah. So that's one. Toothpaste. I think Ibn Baz and Ibn Uthaymin said there's nothing wrong with that. That during the day in the month of Ramadan, you can just, use it to clean your mouth. So long as that's allowed, there's nothing wrong with that.
What about the miswak? You can do miswak?
That's the best. Miswak is the best. Getting the chewing stick, the miswak is the best. You do it all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Allah A'lam. I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Now,
You talk about that, if you live with a family and maybe your wife chooses to say something
no,
in the house, she's not obliged to do it,
no.
but she chooses to do it.
If you have, Alhamdulillah, with Almighty Allah bless us with all with those kinds of who she understands how the going is tough. Sometimes, the money doesn't come in the way you want in the month, the income, but she has something hidden and she wants to help. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that she's not obliged doesn't mean she can't help or she can't profit from it. I use some new dresses, out of love, you want to take it with her, it's not enough, and then she has extra money with her, and then she does. There's nothing wrong with that. She's not obliged to do, but then it is not wrong, it's not haram for her to help and then provide something. There is this form of marriage we call Zawaj al-Misyar. And Zawaj al-Misyar, but then she tries to be independent of some of the things that you can give, that you must give her. So, life. But I'm a well-to-do woman. I have my own home. I have my own work that I'm doing. I can feed myself. I need a man in my life. Because whether you like a woman, as a man, so the right word is she compromises on, but then she lives in certain things. Whether you like it, some manly feelings, some protection. A woman needs a man to, put her head on his shoulders. And a man also needs a woman to put his head on her head so that, there's this allows that, yes, you can go into a marriage where the woman will compromise on some of what needs a man in her life. That's what the Sharia allows it. Not muta. Muta is only about, gaining, sexual pleasure. And that when the kids come in, it's all issues. But then it's what in Misyar, when it's a full marriage. But then the woman, a rich money because I can't take care of you. You have high taste. You buy a Gucci bag for $10,000. Things. He said, yes, I understand, but then I need a man in my life. So let's get married. I will take care of the bills of the house, the home, and stuff like that. And women get to a level like that after having those high careers, not getting married. They get to some age, they look back and realize that no, this feminine agenda or feminist agenda has crippled them. They realize that yes, they need a man in their life. Because she's sleeping in the room all alone, a big house, all alone, nobody, no situation of marriage is the sustenance of the human race. And the institution of marriage is between a man and a woman. The Almighty Allah created Adam and Eve. He didn't create Adam and Steve.
Some women who stay with the man, okay, the man, even if the man is taking care of everything, but they want to go out, like anytime they want to go to certain, even the husband don't.
Home without the permission of the modern world. People want to be accommodated. No. This is what we did, and then we crippled the society. The Almighty Allah made the man the head of the house with his duties and responsibilities. If you are a woman and then you have a well-to-do husband, he's taking care of everything. You want to go out and go and work and also get your money. Why? We are not saying it is haram for a woman to go and work. Islam has given it whereby this idea of I must be an independent woman. I was speaking to some young girls, they were like, no, Chef, you see, you men are my kids, and then when there's all the time dying, it is you. They want you to die first. What if you die right now and then you already have to? That most of the young girls that I've spoken to or who have called me for some of these things, that's the mentality. That I need to be independent. You men, you cannot be trusted. We've been married for all these years. All of a sudden, you see another woman, you want to go and get married to her, and then your attention now is divided to her, and then her kids, and then me and my kids. What's going to happen to us, and all these things. And then the final one is, you can die at any time. She who said the man must die. So, and the final thing is, you see, the Almighty Allah, when He created us, look at the body of the man. His body can absorb all kinds of pressure. His body can withstand all kinds of weight. Allah created us, the men, to go out there in the heat. There is no job better than nurturing the responsible citizens. There's no job better than that. No job better than that. When you nurture your kids, and then they get to that level of life, as compared to you working in a company for 25, 30 years, when you are 60 years old, they pack you home, go to pension. And then you spend the youth. And for those 35 years, you didn't have enough time for your kids. You leave home around 5 a.m., you come home around 9 p.m. That's what you've been doing, 5 to 9. You didn't build that bond with your kids. Your kids are your investment. Your kids are your investment. When you grow old, they are the ones who are going to take care of you. But then when you forsake them, you didn't nurture them. You were looking for nannies to take care of them. You were looking for maids to take care of them, and then you didn't take care of your kids. And then some of the mothers, they call us, my daughter is not listening to me. She only listens to the nanny. The nanny was there when she needed someone to talk to. That's why she's listening to the nanny. So don't expect her to listen to you now. So put in your effort, your energies in what? In nurturing the kids as a mother, and the Almighty Allah will bless you. Take this notion out of your mind that what if ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم.